The people who has appeared on the podcast that are present in Euroguss, these are the people that, as I said in the beginning, they have stepped out of the box. They have been a part of our podcast for reasons. For those of you who has been sponsors to us, thank you. We are grateful. You make us fly a little bit longer and a little bit higher. But also, I would like to say like this. I mean, me and Fabian, we love to talk, but we understand it's so much more interesting when we have a third guy that we can interview that has something to say and tell. So again, all of you that has been around and been interviewed in our podcast, thank you for sharing energy, ideas, creativity, whatever we talked about. And for you who listen into some of these podcasts, because here is actually people just giving you advices and energy and food for thought. Hello and welcome to Goldcasting Podcast. Today we are celebrating a little bit, me and Mr. Niklas, or Fabian if you like. We are actually cherishing and honoring all these people that has been on our show and now are turning up at Euroguss. Big applause for them, right, Fabian?
Absolutely. It was so great. Now I think it's 2.5 years running that podcast and talking to so many interesting people. And we want to share that pleasure that we had in talking with these guys. So why don't we do another tour where we connect you with the people that appeared on various episodes throughout the podcasts with different topics, different insights. And I think that will be a quite fun round where we also can replay what we talked about in these podcast episodes. So you get a big view and then say hi from us from the podcast. Identify that you're coming from the podcast. They're looking forward to hear that.
Yeah. But there's another reason me and Fabian would like to bring to you why you should actually go and see those people and then take a few minutes to talk to them. Because in our view, in our opinion, these guys have one thing in common. They have all been thinking outside the box. Being on board a podcast, sharing what they have done when it comes to business development and how they came out of a tricky situation like the Becker people and so forth. I mean, they have done several things that might not be in line with the kind of business you're looking for at the Euroguss, but it gives you energy and it's pretty enthusiastic people, all of them as well. So if you want some energy, if you want some food for thought, use this as a map for energized people thinking outside the box, I would say. So again, we are honored to speak with those people.
Absolutely. I think then should we get right into it and start with the tour, as this one is a bit longer. But please stay tuned till the end. We have to start in one direction, so the people at the end are still worth visiting. And if you're going on the other side, they're the first one you will hit up. But for the Rio walk, we started going left. This time we're going on to the right side. And then we're starting our journey in Hall 7A, where we have our first company, which is Chem-Trend. They were one of our sponsors of the podcast, talking about what release agents can do for your production process, saving you massive amounts of costs, energy, and at the end, making your tool last longer.
Yeah, great stuff. And we also have a snippet from Darko at Chem-Trend, don't we?
Exactly. We play it right there because they want, as a sponsor of the podcast, want to welcome you personally.
Here it goes.
Dear podcast listeners, I'm very happy to invite you to the Euroguss 2026, where we will exhibit in Hall 7A at booth 110. Our content at the exhibition will be new developments in HERA and conventional release agent technology, and we have new formulas with new polymers, which should help our customers to cutting costs, reducing cycle times, and also obtain HSE requirements. Sustainability is as well a topic. We have developments which are biodegradable, which is certainly of interest for the industry. And in addition to our new developments, we would like to show our visitors how we are partnering with Comptech from Sweden in the Recoasting process. We have developed with Comptech several release agents for the Reocasting process, and we are sure they are quite interesting for the users because they will ensure a smooth casting process without taking care about the process chemicals which are in use in this kind of process. As said, cordially welcome. We are looking forward to meet you at our booth.
All right.
Very nice comments from Darko. You almost blush, don't you? Huh? It's
absolutely
a great guy, by the way. I mean, who hasn't met Darko? And the rest of the team is very good too. But I don't know why. He's the guy that shows up in the small town of Skillingaryd in Sweden. So helped us out many times. Good things. Anyway, we have a pretty long list, so let's go over to the next one, which is Grob. We made an episode together with Grob, which was a part of the series for the Euroguss Executive Circle. And if you're whining or find it hard to recruit people, go and listen to Mr. Koenig. Because Grob had that problem, and they organized it away with, I would say, creativity, use of modern channels, and a lot of energy. I don't think it was an easy task. So listen in to the episode if you want to have the manual, or go and chit-chat with Mr. Koenig.
Absolutely. That was really deep insights into how to structure your recruiting, that people, especially starting their apprenticeship program, people want to directly jump in both with your company. And it's a great listening. It has nothing to do with the foundry industry. It can be applied to every industry, but I think we are struggling with that quite a lot, and you have a few guys there that actually know how to do it.
Yeah. And to finalize Grob, the way middle-aged people at Grob leadership dared to release youngsters with their social channels and digital media without control, that took a lot of guts. Hats off. Anyway, moving still in the Hall 7, but moving to another part of the world, we had the pleasure of interviewing Rockman, Mr. Bambra, who's head of marketing and sales within a very sizable foundry. We talked much about the Indian market, and Mr. Bambra is filled with statistics and experience. And getting his view on India, because everybody says, let me put it like this, there's always a country that's supposed to be the heaven or a Taj Mahal for the foundry industry. We hear it a lot, right? And now everybody's speaking about India, and he's giving such an amount of facts and knowledge, so you kind of get a clearer picture of what is actually possible to do in India and where is this market going. So Mr. Bambra, again, thank you for joining the podcast, and we're looking forward to see you at the Euroguss.
Absolutely. So listen in and stop by if India is still a white spot on your foundry map. And then we can move to the next one, where we also stay in the same Hall 7 and move on to Stena Aluminium, a Swedish recycling company that does very low silicon alloys. That's ideal for the now sustainability transformation going on. And they also did, together with you, 2-3 Reocasting alloys that are specially designed for that process.
Yeah, they're innovative. And I kind of like, if you step into the booth and discuss with Mr. Benjamin Brush, you will get this picture of how they actually saw the sustainability work that they have done as business development. They're linked very closely together. And it's an interesting story of a long-term plan and the execution step by step, getting down to those 0.36 kilograms of carbon dioxide per kilogram of alloy. Whoops, that was the Reocasting versions of it. But anyway, very, very low. So Benjamin Brush, the man of the hour at Stena Aluminium. Then we actually step into Hall 5, right?
Exactly. And in Hall 5, right at the entrance, you will find the company of voestalpine. Quite a massive steel conglomerate, and we had one podcast episode where we talked about the additive manufacturing division together with Armin Wiedneger, and he explained how 3D printed inserts are the game changer for tool lifetime, cooling your hotspots, and he also in that podcast gave us a masterclass in thermal management of your tool design.
I had a feeling that this is the starting phase of the development of using powder metallurgy in tools. And what could be better than having a strong partner that helps you to develop things? And this is what I think you'll find in voestalpine, really, because you don't want to buy 10 kilos of powder. You actually want to understand how do I design my part in my tool, and what limitation could I see, and how to handle this thing. What are the limits? What are the possibilities? So step into voestalpine and have a discussion with Dr. Wiedenegger and really learn something, because I think this is the future for many, many tools.
Absolutely, and they sell you also the rest around the 3D printed insert.
Yeah. Being in the Hall 5 and being at the Euroguss trade show, you find Euroguss, right?
Exactly. They themselves have a booth there where you can connect with them, talk about upcoming articles, Euroguss 365, the executive circle, or I think you can also reserve your spot for the next Euroguss already. So there's quite a wide variety of activities they have planned there in their own space.
When you find Teresa and Mario there, probably pretty... I don't know if they're that under pressure then, because when the trade fair opens, I think most of the things are actually set and done. And of course, they have some fire extinguishers for upcoming chaotic situations. But I don't think those are created by the Euroguss people. They're just servicing the exhibitors. Anyway, anyhow, why should you go there? Simple. Because the Euroguss 365 is one of the major channels in our industry. Not only the trade fair. Trade fairs we know. They're excellent, but we know that. But look at the Euroguss 365, the number of people actually reaching those newsletters, the graphics, the contents, I think it has a very high standard. So if you're thinking about stepping out of your traditional box of marketing, spend a cup of coffee with Teresa and Mario and at least schedule a meeting for a time after the Euroguss. They have a lot of things to offer that's not seen at first sight.
Well said. And I think the Hall 5 is the busiest hall for us. So we stay there for quite a while. And the next, right next to it, is again the University of Kassel, where they have a booth there. Again, partners of us, where we had the Gigacasting conference in Kassel with 400 people all around the world coming together, discussing Gigacasting. It was amazing. And they do a lot of reocasting development, Tixam molding, 3D printing of sand cores, and have a bunch of highly engaged, interested students. So go there, talk to them. You get a different view on what's going on in our industry, how different problems can be solved with technology, with insights.
Yeah. Exactly, and but just the fact that the Professor Fellberg is not only a very well-reputed professor, I would say he's the leading professor when it comes to semi-solid now these days, but he's also been for quite some years a foundry manager and actually knows the trick of the trade when it comes to deliver all these parts before you go home on Saturday if you're a boss or a manager. So that is a great guy to talk to. He probably forgotten more about semi-solid than I actually know, I think. And then, of course, Paul Becker and the other in the team walking around and doing trial castings every day, every week, every month. They know stuff. You should talk to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you should, next time there's a conference in Kassel about gigacastings, go there. Even if you're not casting gigacastings, structure castings, body and white parts, go there. So many nice presentations.
You can learn so many things from gigacasting and then break it down into your own production and get a massive efficiency gain. So that was an impressive thing. And talking about gigacasting, we can step into the next booth, which is the booth of Laubinger Rickmann, where we had a podcast together with Philip Hettig. We talked about panel gaps in cars and what a gigacasting can do for that. And they are the expert in making crooked stuff straight again. So they're a straightening machine producer working car production all around the world.
Yeah. That guy has some bonus points on the airliners. And of course he has a lot of NDAs. But you understand between the lines that he's been seen. He's probably seen most rear floors of anybody on this globe. Must be Mr. Hettig. So and he's a great guy, and he actually shares a lot of things. So if you want to see how very creative individuals meet with German high tech, I would say, in a beautiful combination, making cars straight, in short, so you can close the door, for example, then speak with Mr. Hettig. And if you're not into gigacasting, speak with Mr. Hettig, because he's a great guy. Have a coffee with the guy.
Oh, definitely.
Then we enter the heart of the reocasting stuff, which is the pavilion, right?
Exactly. And there we have a few friends in that pavilion.
Oh, yeah. We start with Dynatool Industries, I think.
Yes, that's the first one you will hit. When you come down from the Laubinger Rickmann booth, then you directly walk into the booth of Dynatool.
Yeah. Dynatool is a foundry in Canada, and they are actually the first commercial success of reocasting in North America. They have developed so many parts with beautiful properties and strange designs from small to big, led by CEO J.C. Taville. His name is actually Jean-Claude, but I called him that once, and I said it's only my mother that calls me Jean-Claude. It's JC to everybody. So if you're interested in more than just maple syrup or an ice hockey when it comes to Canada, you should stop by and talk to JC, because he has a lot of knowledge and can support you, especially if you're a designer or a product owner. That's the place to go, you know.
Exactly. They are famous for their Rivian hinge pillar. So the first casting inside a large door. I think we showed it around quite a lot. And yeah.
And they're doing on the other end of the scale super small things with very high requirements for telecom in quite high volume. So yeah, go there. And then we have Comptech.
Exactly. Comptech, that's would be the new Staffan. So if you want to talk to Staffan, visit Comptech at their booth. What they are exhibiting there is basically their new software suite. One is the Rio Start to find the best parameters, superheat to get started with the Rio casting process. And the second one is the Rio Quality, which defines the solid fraction inside your casting to give you an accurate quality assurance. Okay, you are on spot with your process. And then you will probably have a few videos to show how the slurry makers that you're also making looks like.
But if you're not interested in the software and all these things, and you just want to speak about business, I think you should listen into the snippet now from Dr. Jansson welcoming you to our booth at the Euroguss. Go ahead, Per.
This year we have a reocasting pavilion at the Euroguss exhibition, which is very, very exciting, because now people are having the possibility to come and visit users of the reocasting technology who already have a slurry maker and can come in with their problems and get them solved and supplied as castings as well. So I think this Euroguss, when it comes to the reocasting, it is more about the actual business you make with reocasting rather than the technology. Of course, we are there present as well to explain the technology for people who are interested in this, and also going to present a few new things which have been requested by the market. For instance, we are later this year developing a software where people can take their part where they are going to cast for first time and get a presetting of their process in order to reach the estimated solid fraction they intend to cast the part with. So that's a new thing. So kind of a preparation kind of software. Then we also are launching a software where people will upload a microstructural picture, and as a response on that they will get the actual solid fraction the slurry actually contained, which they then can correlate to the settings they had when they made the casting in order to get the solid fraction, the real solid fraction of the actual casting as well, which is also new. So these things we're going to present a bit about in Euroguss, and I think that's the new thing for us from a technical perspective, which is a little bit more soft values than hard values. And then of course all the different foundries who have invested in reocasting where you can come and view. And then of course there's the Rio Walk this time. We had that the last Euroguss as well, which is interesting for people who want to come and see all companies who have any connection with reocasting as a quick tour through the whole exhibition. So I think there will be a lot of reocasting discussions actually this time of Euroguss. Then I would like to invite you all to the Reocasting Pavilion, which is in Hall 5, and talk to us about reocasting, about your challenges from a technical perspective, and then later you can also meet with the producers or foundries that can help you to actually cast the parts. So I think it will be a fantastic exhibition this time.
Oh, that is well said. Thank
Yep.
you, Per, for that snippet and for being a sponsor of the podcast.
Yep. Thank you, Pat. But still in the pavilion, going to North America again, we have Spartan, and we have Chris Leaf leading a team of 3 people. It will be Scott and Kevin. They have done tremendous development for car makers, especially. They're very automotive focused. And if you have questions and thinkings and would like to get their experience of semi-solid casting, get there.
Especially super interesting is that they built up a testing tool where you have different inserts that can vary around to really fit the geometry you want to test.
Besides talking about reocasting, getting the experience of Spartan, you should also look out for a guy in the booth called Kevin. Kevin goes on the name of Saint Kevin. He is the patron of all trade fair workers like ourselves. There's always a fan in his pocket when it's hot. There's always a cold beer when it's 4 o'clock and you need one. Or anything else. I don't know. He's like the Harry Potter of trade fairs. So at least stop by and say hi to Saint Kevin, because you never know when you need to call for him.
Exactly. And also from Spartan, as one of our sponsors, we have a personalized message for you. So, Chris, you can start now.
Hi there. My name's Chris Leith, and this is Scott Meyer. We're from Spartan Light Metal Products. We're really looking forward to Euroguss in January, and we're part of the Reocasting Pavilion. We're there because we are the first high-pressure die caster in the United States to have a Comptech slurry maker. Spartan is a high-pressure die caster in the US. We're based in the Midwest area, in and around St. Louis. We have 4 locations, a total of about 45 die casting machines ranging from 1,200 to 5,000 tons. We do machining and assembly for majority automotive OEMs. Why the Reocasting Pavilion? Well, we have Comptech's first slurry maker in the US, and we're doing an awful lot of development work for the majority of our OEM customers. Over the next 3 months, in fact, it's going to be quite difficult to drag ourselves away from trials. We're almost swamped now for the next 3 months. So to get away to actually come and support the team at Euroguss will be quite hard. But of course, always looking for new customer opportunities. One of our customers over the next 3 months is going to be using a new development die that we have. We've called it our S die, or the Rio Grande, as it's termed on the side of the tool. It is a long 2-meter flow length die with a single runner and gate into it. The intent is to put reocasting semi-solid materials through a tortuous path, going through thick, thin bosses, squeeze pins, you name it. We can do it in a single cavity configuration, a 2-cavity configuration. Each of the 9 blocks are all totally interchangeable. We also have available uncut blocks. So if we have a customer that wants to do a quick trial of a specific geometry, they can give us the CAD. It can be relatively quickly, within the space of a month or so, cut into those blocks. And we can run trials very, very cost effectively and quickly to really help and support our customers. So please feel free, come visit us at our booth in Euroguss. We'd very much like to talk to you. Thank you.
Looking forward to meeting you and hearing about all of your opportunities and applications. Thank you.
That was nice words. Thank you, Chris. So, leaving Spartan, we'll come back to them when we meet in January in Nürnberg. We have Casting Campus, not in the pavilion, but you can see you 2 meters away. So, this is the place to go if you want to dive into semi-solid casting and reocasting. There's something called the Reocasting Masterclass. Sorry for selling your product out here now, Fabian, but the thing is, from the Comptech perspective, this is the perfect gap filler. You might have had a couple of presentations, maybe listen to my voice for an hour or 2, but you really want to go into depth with this to understand the process, the market, the potential sales you can see, how to industrialize, and all these things. And you get it in a very effective way, not to a super cost. You don't need to travel somewhere. You do it via webinars, and you can choose actually German or English, which I think is pretty great, especially now when we are in Germany for the next trade fair. So step into the casting campus, get a leaflet. I can imagine that will be some kind of a Euroguss discount if you get into this Reocasting masterclass. Remember that word, because after seeing everything in the pavilion, you will have a lot of questions on the airplane home. Sign up for the masterclass.
And you can sign up directly at the booth. There will be a big box where you can put in your business cards, and you might be one of the 3 lucky winners, so 1 per day, that even gets the participation for free. So come by, sign up for the masterclass. As high-pressure die casting and reocasting are similar, but there are some key differences, and you can have a very deep fall if you don't know what to do, and that knowledge gap, how to get started, is filled with the reocasting masterclass. And then also, when it's about the podcast, stop by, shake hands, talk to me. I'm looking forward to see you.
Yeah, that's an important step to take. Moving on into Hall 4, we're leaving Hall 5 now. And then we find Gnutti Carlo Group. I know them as Ljunghäll because I'm Swedish, and Ljunghäll is a big Swedish foundry. Now it's a global foundry. And we had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Erik Müller. Erik Müller is the CTO of Gnutti Group, and this was an interview again in the Euroguss executive circle. And we talked pretty much about marketing, finding new customers, and all these things. And he's a very interesting guy because, okay, they have a foundry in Sweden, up north, but otherwise they're pretty global. And Mr. Müller has a very interesting view of many, many things. So again, thank you, Erik, for being in our podcast. And if you're interested to hear and get some energy, step in and speak with Erik. And if you cannot catch him, listen to the podcast episode with Erik Müller from Ljunghäll/Gnutti Group. Then, really, really looking forward to see you there at the Euroguss, Erik.
Absolutely, that episode was really something that should open your eyes. That as an industry, we need to step out of our own bubble and present us to the world. And in the same series where we recorded the episode with Erik, we also had Raphael Heilig from Teraport in the Euroguss series for the executive circle. They are making a software for CAD programming and also getting offers out quickly and accurate. So stop by their booth as well. That's also in Hall 4, right down the hallway.
Stop by for another reason also, even if you don't think that, I wonder if there's a software solving this problem. Take some time at the Euroguss and discuss with software companies, but start with the Teraport at Mr. Heilig, because this is coming, whatever we like it or not. I mean, we introduced simulations 15 years ago. Now they are super good. But there are coming so many things because, I mean, let's face it, the number of people in the foundry is just lesser and lesser. You have to some way store knowledge and the Fingerspitzgefühl and all these things. And the more you can automate with software and AI for that sake, the better it is. So I bet you 2-3 Eurogusses down the line, the amount of software companies in the trade show will be doubled or tripled. That I'm sure of.
Yeah, because many of the softwares like these solve a real issue that is hard to do. And if you have the right software for the right solution, that makes your life so much easier, and you can focus on the things that actually need work on and not do busy work, filling out forms and things like that.
Yeah, really. And speaking about software, in the same hall, pretty close to Teraport, you'll find Magma. And
even the same hallway. You just can step over the hallway and you're there.
Yeah. And the Magma, I mean, they're the old timers in software development because they are a simulation company, basically. But I see the products are expanding more and more, and we see new modules for calculating sustainability and the carbon dioxide footprint and comparisons between different processes. And it is becoming a broader and broader tool, not only something that a process engineer is trying to grasp how to build a tool when someone sold it. So step in there and speak with Mr. Horst Brahman and the team. They really know what they're doing. And these are people that work from 50 grams to 100 kilos.
And they're doing it for a very long time, so they really can help you also with your solution.
Yeah. And if you're interested in semi-solid casting, they have a great module. Check it out and get the feeling of it by stopping by the Magma booth. And also to mention, Magma was one of the true believers in our podcast. And so hats off to Mr. Horst Bramman, one of our sponsors back then. And we will always remember that, Horst.
Absolutely. So, and for you, he has a message pre-recorded.
Let's listen.
Welcome, my name is Horst Brammann, I'm from Magma. I would like to welcome you also to join Euroguss 2026. We will also be part of Euroguss in our booth in Hall 4342 is the number of the booth. You're invited to visit us. We have some topics prepared for you, such as giga casting, of course, die casting and permanent mold casting. We will give some insights into our latest developments. And another topic where we are, let's say, embedded into a consortium of the Rio Walk will be semi-solid casting, especially having a focus on Rio casting together with our partner Comptech and all the partners of the Rio Walk. So be invited to also get some news there, what we could do for you. And maybe another topic that might be interesting for you, and this will also be part of my presentation on Thursday, I think it's the 15th, also the last day of Euroguss. It will be at 10 o'clock for the German diecasting day. And the topic will be on Magma economics. It's a calculation tool to support you in order to not only having a focus on quality, assessing quality with simulation, but also having a focus on carbon footprint of your casting or your casting system, and also the costs, of course, of your casting system. So be invited to join my talk, and also, of course, be invited to join our booth. And we will serve some nice food also. And probably having a beer together. I'm very much looking forward to see you in our booth and having great talks.
Great words.
Thank you, Horst, for that. And then we can continue. Still the same hallway, and you find IPG ItalPresseGauss. They just had a complete rebranding, management buyout going on, and they are presented with their new solutions at the Euroguss. We had the pleasure to talk with Peter about what's going on in the foundry industry to race to the highest clamping force. Is it really needed? Because there's so much going on even below the giga casting size.
Yeah. And ItalPresse is, that group of companies are basically the very core of it is engineering. So if someone needs something special, I think stopping by IP is always good. They have ideas and they're very creative. So, and again, thank you for joining our podcast and filling it with very good insights.
Absolutely. And when we talk about machine makers, we just jumped the hall to the next machine maker, which is Bühler, where we got some deep insights about the mega casting market from Dr. Markus Hofer, where he shared a little bit what was the incentive for Bühler to go in that direction, to follow the global trend to larger and larger die casting machines.
Yeah, but I think also if you have the time, I know that Dr. Hofer is also very keen on the discussion about the merger of the disciplines, that when creating a lot of castings today, it's not enough with melting 226 and then use a shot curve from something similar. When doing all these advanced new shapes, you have to start to look very deeply into your alloy, your machine, your process window. You have the processing, the tool technology to be used and so forth, because process windows are shrinking and anything that can expand them. So I found this very, very interesting. Maybe a little bit too philosophical for the time being, but I bet it will be the thing for the future, that you have to join forces in a multidisciplinary way. And Bühler knows this, so they work on it. So
join forces, have a better communication throughout different departments, that a small change in the alloy composition has an impact on the later quality, because you have to adjust the casting parameters. And getting these loops within your company right is some of the crucial things that outside any machine, but without it, you won't get any good castings over the long run.
Exactly. And then Bühler is high-tech. It's always worth stopping, and rumors has it that they have some novelties to present also again in this Euroguss edition. So go there, meet the team. They know things.
Absolutely. Also, when we move on from Bühler in the same hall, we got also one of their big customer, which is Handtmann. They also have a 6,000-ton machine installed. And we had an amazing podcast with Mr. Andreas Würze about why German foundries just started to jump the trend where everybody else is on, and being the first European foundry that has a mega casting machine. Quite interesting what is going on and how you anticipate trends and jump on them.
Yeah, and how they actually dare to invest. You always hear that Chinese companies, they buy machines first and then they fill them. But Handtmann did a little bit the same thing here, as it seems at least. And then the years they spend in getting new things to work, I mean, it's impressive. And then you come back to the question, but okay, is it because it's family owned or not? I don't know, but they definitely have the right captains. So now I can speak about the best episode ever, besides the one with Handtmann.
Yeah, because buying the machine is always the easy part. As he described, it was really complex to build up all the engineering, all the process around to feed that machine with good processes and good castings. So quite an interesting talk. They probably have a lot to show for. Stop by their booth.
And then we're moving to Becker. And I say thank you, and I say thank you, because Becker has been with us 2 times. First time, we made a recording at a very nice conference in Germany, and then a year later, they were actually back together with us. And they have a very interesting concept. We love them. They're not just tool makers. They are actually supporting industrialization with services like prototypes, short series, and as such. Invested heavily. But I think I'm even more impressed by the journey this company took, because when the crisis hit, who is hitting first? Well, the tool maker. And Becker was absolutely also first in line, getting that hit around COVID, I think it was. And the way the decisions they took, the determination and execution, how they actually changed something that looked very bad into something very shiny and very impressive. So if you don't want to buy any tools from them, stop by at least and get some energy from the guys, because they are pure energy and determination. I'm impressed.
Inform yourself about high-pressure die casting prototypes when you're at the OEM, because getting them in high-pressure die casting quality right from the start helps you a lot with your vehicle development.
Yeah, that was actually the list, ladies and gentlemen, and the people who has appeared on the podcast that are present in Euroguss. These are the people that, as I said in the beginning, they have stepped out of the box. They have been a part of our podcast for reasons. For those of you who has been sponsors to us, thank you. We are grateful. You make us fly a little bit longer and a little bit higher. But also, I would like to say like this. I mean, me and Fabian, we love to talk, but we understand it's so much more interesting when we have a third guy that we can interview that has something to say and tell. So again, all of you that has been around and been interviewed in our podcast, thank you for sharing energy, ideas, creativity, whatever we talked about. And for you who listen into some of these podcasts, because here is actually people just giving you advices and energy and food for thought. Take it in the car when you drive to work next time.
Absolutely. With that podcast, you can really listen in what people think that are key experts in our industry, and without pressuring them, asking them about, just listening in, and they're sharing their knowledge. That's really amazing. And the third thing, if you're a bit upset that you and your company are not mentioned in this series of the podcast, then give us a call, stop by the Euroguss, and let's discuss how we can support your marketing with the podcast, build out the content marketing system for you, show you how to market it, and then you join us on the podcast, and then we talk about it and blast it out that you reach your ideal customers that you want to have. And then in the next Euroguss, you might be then also featured in that list.
That we know. So thank you for listening in, and looking forward to meet you at the Euroguss. And for the ones that we have described, we are looking forward to shake your hand and discuss how we can cooperate in the next year. So see you in Nürnberg, and before that, have a very nice Christmas. So goodbye, hej då, auf Wiedersehen from us.
Goodbye, see you in Nürnberg, ciao.
Sayonara, bye.